Hello everybody, welcome back to the Learn Dota 2 League, Season 12, Week 6. Last time,
This
the
game
end
is
up...
actually ticketed.
Yeah, this game is actually ticketed, so names are going to be a little different here. Do not be afraid, do not adjust that dial. So, last time, Nagaz came in with a very, very rotten setup of a draft, to be honest with you. Did not execute it to its best effect, unfortunately. This time, see if they can turn things around to a degree here. Once again, both sides starting out with a very similar set of bans. Once again, trying to get rid of the Necro and Earth Spirit for X3 and Dogtown, respectively. Lich, looking at the OD. Thinking a little more about their ban, actually banning out the Viper they themselves picked out last time, which is a known Dig hero, so that's likely our strat there.
Yep. Last game they effectively banned it by picking it really early, so.
Right.
10 seconds remaining. Dire team pick.
I'm not gonna let that Jakiro get taken away this time.
Yep, Jakiro for Pages for sure. Last round, Pages on Ogre Magi really was not able to have much of an impact on the match, unfortunately. So hopefully on Jakiro, things might be a little different. Also, cuts down Run Over Meat's roster by 1, because it's a hero they kind of share.
Yep.
Run Over Meat has a slightly limited roster.
Dogtown SB?
Could be anyone SB. It could be, we've seen X3 SB, it could be a Dogtown SB, could even be a Run Over Meat SB. You never necessarily know with Old Spirit Breaker. I don't like him by myself, but some people do. The one thing I'm confident about is that he's not going to be Pause 2. Because again, I got spoiled for the Pause 2 this game, though. That was by me being a dumbass rather than anybody else, so, you know. Send all hate mail to me. I'll take that one for sure.
Radiant team pick.
Warlock coming up next. Likely going to be our Run Over Meat hero. We've seen Run Over Meat play Warlock to some pretty surprising success. Actually, tends to do better with the micromanagement aspect of the hero than anything else, really. NWA securing the Juggernaut as fast as possible. It seems like Manifest Destiny has failed to really achieve much success this tournament on anybody else. So it's a very, very important for them in a time like this to pick up Jug. I believe, I might be wrong about this, but I believe NWA might be entirely out of contention if they don't win this match.
10 seconds.
Can they get the tiebreaker? Are they 2-0 next week?
I'm not sure.
Right,
Maybe.
it's a very big question mark. I think that depends on how the rest of the Week 6 games go.
Yep.
I know, for example, MF Doom, do we cast it live this week, is done, completely done. So they're getting the bye this week, and they cannot possibly make tiebreaker because of how the schedule came down. I think
their best possible score is 6-8, which isn't good enough.
Right.
Radiant team ban. Dire team ban.
I believe right now they're the only team that's peaking at 6-8, though. I think there's a lot of 7-7s right now. At least theoretical 7-7s. Anyway, Naga banning their own hero again. They do not want to see Naga Siren, which is funny because you'd think if there's any hero they'd want to see, right? Looking at the Lina, the Spectre as well, banning out the lowest win rate hero. Meanwhile, Lich is really focusing around the Luchs here, just getting rid of the entire Best of Luchs series. No Darkseer, no Night Stalker.
Dire team pick.
Finally, after all that time, we get a Clinks ban, which might also be another Manifest Destiny sort of thing.
Yeah.
think this will be a very annoying hero for a lot of squishier types to deal with.
10 seconds remaining.
Right.
5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
Oracle, huh?
Okay. So SB's 3 or higher.
Right. Oracle, huh? Interesting. Is that going to be Foracle? Foracle? Are they
Oracle,
finally?
maybe.
What are they finally going to be doing?
Right.
10 seconds.
When I see
remaining.
Oracle, it makes me think Medusa.
Right.
5 seconds.
Are they
remaining.
finally going to be doing what we've been calling for since perhaps week 1 of this entire tournament? Gonna see what Run Over Me can do on the Oracle. That'll be interesting.
Maybe it could be because Katie's played Huskar in this tournament, right? Kid
Yeah,
Dynamite?
yeah. Kid Dynamite
So
played Oscar both of
Huskar-
this tournament on his own time. I believe it's one of his most successful heroes.
Huskar and the Medusa.
It could be.
Those are 2
Yeah.
really good Oracle heroes.
Taking a little time to think about what the Oracle means on NWA.
Yeah.
If only you were around to tell them.
Yeah, if only.
The answer is Death Prophet, it seems. Which isn't a
Yeah,
bad
DP.
idea, actually, I think, in response to the old Oracle.
Dire team pick.
Might be seeing a 3DP.
Enchantress.
Hard to
Right.
tell.
I think it practically means that whenever somebody's Oracle ulted in the middle of the Death Prophet, they're just gonna die. And Enchantress can purge stuff off as well.
Right. Death Prophet, as I said before, one of the heroes that enjoys very
10
long team
seconds
fights that Oracle
remaining.
kind of helps to provide. Death Prophet not going to be able to chase out heroes that are given the false promise, but certainly is going to prevent anybody with false promise from continuing to try and fight during that
Yep.
time, at least if they care about living or dying. Could be a 3DP. I know 3DP is becoming more and more. Oh, there's Huskar. 3DP is
Yeah.
becoming more and more popular over time. People must have been listening to me because I was telling people about, hey, 3DP might have something recently.
Yeah, Co-op 3 is also popular right now.
10 seconds remaining.
All those mid 3s.
5 seconds remaining.
Quad 3, I will say, I have a little harder time understanding the exact appeal of that one. Doesn't seem like she really brings that much in a 3 role. More of like a, sort of, like, I don't know, like a TI3 to TI6 era 3, where you're picking a 3 less for the ability to tank and for being the team fight commander, more for being sort of like just a straight up all utility all the time sort of hero, just specifically going for like just bullying supports with the ult and all that.
Right.
10 seconds remaining.
As far as taking heat, as far as getting the enemy team to pay attention to you, it doesn't seem that great in the whole scheme of things, but who knows? Maybe I'll just have to see some successful 3DP, or not successful 3DP, successful 3TA to see that go through. Speaking of Quap, Lich getting rid of Quap.
Yeah, indeed.
It's actually a very almost. We're going to have some feminist groups complaining about the bans at the end of this one. There's just
Yeah, that's true.
too many women getting knocked out. At least they have the token representation in Enchantress.
Oh, yeah, that's true. And of course, Sniper,
And DP. Yeah, TA, Drow Ranger, Quap, and Sniper. Everybody's favorite female Dota heroes.
And Lena and Nagaz.
Yep, Lena and Naga as well.
And Spectre.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, who's left in the pool? Medusa,
5
Willow,
seconds remaining.
Marcy. I
Snapfire.
guess there's quite a bit.
Yeah. Legion Commander.
Taking a lot of time on this one.
Thinking.
One of the more important picks in the entire tournament for NWA. If they fail to make good on this pick, their entire future as a team might be in a bit of question here.
Yep.
Dire team pick.
Alright.
Void Spirit, huh?
I don't know if I like that matchup that much against Huskar.
Yeah, I can see the
I
I
haven't
can
seen it
see
that
the
much.
intent. I can see the intent, but
10
yeah, it
seconds
feels like he's
remaining.
just gonna kind of get bullied out, especially early levels.
5 seconds remaining.
You can certainly see Void Spirit wreaking havoc when he gets that Exo. Him
Yeah.
being able to silence whoever he wants in a fight. All 4 of these people are super cast dependent. None of these people like to be quiet, even a little bit.
Yep.
But Medusa's pretty much okay being silenced.
Yeah.
So yeah, there
She's
you go.
farmed enough.
Everything you wanted in life, and that is a 4 Oracle. 4 Oracle. It's a little rare to see. Usually
Yeah.
it's going to be Oracle M5.
Right.
Definitely Oracle's going to have a lot of good things to do in this matchup. We're going to be able to keep both Medusa and Huskar in a very good state of affairs. Oh, Kid Dynamite has a weird, like, living spear thing for Huskar. Good to see.
Yeah, he does.
He's also going to have his sponsorships here.
That's true. He will.
Did you know that Kid Dynamite sponsored by Nike?
Did know that.
When are we going to get a Nike sponsorship, huh?
April 14th.
Oh, okay, I'll mark it on the calendar then. Damn, that's not that far away, actually.
Sure.
A couple more months, baby. That is going to be the old 3DP there.
Yep.
Somebody has changed name. I think it's Gotham to Boom Boom
Yeah,
on
that's
the
awesome.
NWA. It's a very interesting name to be using there. You know what I think of when I think of the phrase Boom Boom?
What?
I think of the guy from Mario 3. The weird little
Oh.
mini-boss dude.
Yeah.
Faith in pausing, also restored. Holy
Oh boy.
crap!
Here we go.
How long? We got a G from Kid Dynamite. There we go.
My life now has meaning.
Yeah, same.
Finally!
Couldn't agree more.
Got the observer here. Now we can see everything. I believe they've changed their stand-in. That might just be his ticketed name. It might have changed stand-in since last round. It might be the same guy. It's kind of hard to tell, really. I think it's the same guy. I think it was the same name in the pick phase
Yeah, I'm
there.
assuming it's the same people
30
here.
seconds to battle.
Lich with a commanding net worth lead over there presently.
Actually, haven't seen much Ench in this tournament. It might be the first.
It might be, yeah.
I haven't been watching DPC that much lately. I think she's generally fallen off. As
Right.
Well.
I want to talk about DPC. Been seeing a lot of DP3 at
The battle
DPC, funny
begins.
enough. Not
Yep.
that much.
I know Ench was like super big like a year or two, like in 2020.
Yeah.
you would see in almost every other game.
The other day, getting a TP out here, jog off to the safe lane. The other day, I had the exclusive privilege of watching DPC with the Backdoor Boys, and by exclusive privilege, I mean we watched like 2 minutes of it while we were queuing up for a game, and I was coaching.
Wow.
I will say to those of you keeping score at home, I didn't really coach the Backdoor Boys at all. I just kind of sat on a game, watched it, and made fun of it.
Spectating him, yeah.
Yeah.
When we say coach in Dota, we mean just use it as a spectate, like a live spectate.
Yeah, if you're talking about somebody besides X3, I'm not really giving them. I mean, I'm kind of like saying things to like Meat and stuff as well, but not nearly to the same degree. Gotham trying to do some funny lane cutting strategies.
He's kind of bothering the Warlock over here.
Right. Warlock actually standing by to do something about this, but it's kind of leaving Medusa hanging dry here so far. Rise. Not from your grave or anything. Just stand up.
All right, let's go. Get him.
Not actually expecting Warlock to be generally winning this exchange here. He should probably eat his own consumables. No, he's actually gonna... Oh, Snake coming in.
Oh boy. Yep. It's a level 1 Snake though.
Chantress is still very low. She's just gonna have to run out into the river here.
Very odd little encounter that was.
Yep. What's their creep cutting strategy? Didn't really work out all that well, though. Luchs has gotten quite a bit of free time up here to get whatever he wants done.
Stack up that camp there as well.
Very sad news for Medusa. There's nothing quite as sad as... Oh, Dogtown's got Jägermeister too. I think that's also not recent news. He at least had that from the Lich tournament, maybe last week as well. But man, a lot of big sponsorships going down on Lich. Definitely the corporate favorite in this tournament, that's for sure. As Void Spirit almost gets Kid Dynamite there. Might have actually been a kill too. He was very low. And one thing to consider with the Void Spirit here as well, is Didge that well versed in Void Spirit? I don't think I've seen Didge play much, not only of Void Spirit, of heroes like that. So he might be a bit of a fish out of water on the hero this week.
I haven't seen him do it in this tournament, but
certainly
not sure his general lineups.
Dogtown and X3 just high-fived. Glad they're getting along.
Yeah. At least there's that.
Sports trading down here. Very slow start to this game.
Yep, both teams just kind of feeling each other out. Not really taking undue risks.
Right. It's very hard to find something to talk about in the meantime. Hey, I can tell you this. I've got good news for all the Minoy fans in the audience. He's out of low priority now.
Wow.
He's back on the streets. And, oh my god, we paused again. Oh, jeez, this is not going to be the next highlight, is it? Holy crap, another just eternal pause here. Thank God for the fast forward button. Thank God we didn't spectate this week. We were supposed to spectate, of course, the GGs and Backdoor Boys this week. That didn't happen. Forward all...
Game got thrown out.
Yep, forward all hate mail to Rada. He just loves getting it.
Yeah, I'm sure he hasn't gotten enough within the last couple days.
We're gonna have a pre-show panel again this week, probably, so be mentioning that at the end of the show. So if you want to talk to the host with the most, you gotta be there live. Certainly these pre-show panels, I think, are gonna start having a little more interest, maybe, perhaps, the casual viewer. as we start getting closer to the, especially as we get into the actual bracket itself. So if you're watching this, if you're an outsider, you're like a stand-in or something, just keeping your pulse on the, your finger on the pulse of the tournament, definitely be checking out those pre-show panels because we're gonna do a lot of talking on them.
Keeping your pulse on the finger, yeah.
Yeah.
Where are you going?
Hassling up the Medusa here. Notably, Medusa has been sort of starved out so far for last hits. Well, certainly the initial read on the Enchantress attempt to mess this lane up didn't make it look like it was going too well for them.
Yeah.
By this point, it's certainly looking a lot more fruitful of an endeavor.
Come on, sprites.
Right, I don't know how, I guess, non-risky it is to stack the hard camp, the pull camp with the Medusa in the lane,
Right.
but that's life.
Fortunately for Medusa, though, Medusa has really no ability to stop this whatsoever. Though Death Prophet certainly might have something to say about it. Well, Ramit attempts to body block there. Doesn't actually succeed, but does end up pulling the attention away.
Yeah.
Good kill down here, bot. Looks like not much more than that happening, though.
Come get healed.
Enchantress is going to get healed here, no matter what. It's also going to pull Dire's stack. Death Prophet trying to take over some of the last hits here. Though actually ends up not really succeeding. It looked like Medusa got pretty much all of that, though. It might be at the cost of her life here. Yep,
yeah.
there she goes, first blood. And Rono Ramit in super trouble here.
So what's so dangerous about DP? She can go for these kills so effectively.
Right, that health drain, that Spirit Siphon, man, that is a lot more HP per second stolen than it really looks like it should be.
Yep.
Going to put a
sure.
big time hamper on the Medusa there, which is great news for a team that's really going to be the early game focused team in this matchup. Joker's going to have a longer shelf life than, say, a Brewmaster would. Oh, Void Spirit getting jumped here.
Yep.
Actually deciding to stay in place there. Joker's going to have a longer shelf life than the Brewmaster, but not all that much. You know, he's gonna get another probably 20 minutes, relatively. Which sounds like a lot of time until you realize that Brewmaster's like done as a pause 1 by like 30.
Yeah.
20 minutes, and even then, a lot of that time, he's just not going to have anything to say about Medusa.
Check out that mid matchup though. Oh, okay.
H is getting completely run over by the Oracle and the Spirit Breaker down here.
Yep. Yeah, like I said, the mid CS matchup is telling a story.
Yeah. Huskar almost double the Void Spirit's last hits here. He had to route again, it seems like. Not only almost double his last hits, he's also got a hell of a lot more denies. If you take a look at the levels here, Void Spirit 6 going on 7. Huskar already about halfway up through 8. Poor guy hasn't been able to do much. Calling in a rotation here, which is a smart move. Turning this at least into a dual lane for a while. It's not going to help him on the XP front, but giving him some breathing room against Huskar, certainly not going to be anything but good here. DP knocking down the tower top, meaning that both games, the sacred tradition was not upheld. But at least we got Ogre. If we can't have all the traditions of the LD2L, at least we can have a good amount of them, good enough report of them. Kid Dynamite getting scorched up here.
Yeah, I'm gonna call Luchs over here too.
We're having quite a little bit of fun here at the
Oracle
mid
ult,
lane. Good Oracle ult, good Huskar jump right onto the Void Spear from downtime.
He's still
Spear
alive.
Breaker coming in. Yep,
Oh my god.
very well timed Oracle plays here. Dogtown certainly showing very strong use of the hero there. Pretty much gave that entire fight to Huskar. That could have been disastrous for him, but nope. Instead, he gets to get 2 kills, almost a third one for free, and walk
yeah.
away. Not sweating that much. They lose 0 people for this whole affair. I don't know why Enchantress didn't just pick that up. Probably wasn't much of a risk to doing it.
I wouldn't get near that Huskar after that.
I mean,
that
hey, you
will
are
do.
Enchantress. It's not not
Well, she
necessarily.
doesn't have ult.
Yeah, that is true. Enchantress definitely needs to go get some levels. Enchantress below 6 almost can't contribute to a game, really, at this juncture. Not this kind of game, certainly. Seems to be a very common issue with 4s and the LD2L in particular. Feels like 4s kind of overestimate the amount of potential their heroes have when they don't have ult, and there's just a lot of them that really just, they barely exist before it. Enchantress is good for doing one thing until then, putting down wards, basically.
Yeah,
And circling the jungle.
Some funny creep plays.
Right. And that definitely seems to be passe right about now. Passe to an extent that I really don't understand. It seems like people are super afraid to micro creeps as Enchantress right now. To the point where you often go whole games without seeing it happen like once. Which is a little odd. Denying her own observer there for a second.
Always funny.
Huskar at this point just keeping that keeping that armlet on at all times. Spearbreaker charging in though, immediately trying to get the hell out of there with the Enchantress. I will say, one of the better responses you can have to an Enchantress is probably the Spearbreaker, as that bulldoze, especially when it gets leveled up to full, is going to largely just make her slow, irrelevant on the guy, and he's going to be able to always chase down. He's going to be able to always have a good rapport.
Chasing down.
Yep. Oh, good hold on the root there. Good hold on the root. Good way to knock him out. Feels like a bit of overestimation of the hero there against that specific lineup on the Void Spirit's part. Again, Oracle here, man. Dogtown really showing why he's, you know, I was about to say I hate to say it, but let's just be real. I'm never gonna hate to put a damper in Kid Dynamite's day. Really, sort of the MVP of the Lich team. I feel like responsible for a very large amount of their increased success recently. A large part of that is just how much more they've been building around the guy recently. You know, they started the tournament building all around that X3. Never really worked out too well for them, but now it's all about Dogtown and Kid Dynamite, and X3 is in more of a role I think he's comfortable with as a 3, I think, as well. He's playing more of a supporting role. It's not to say as a support, that is to say he's playing a, you know, he's playing the team fight orchestrator, he's playing a more traditional Pause 3 role, rather than being the guy everything is built around, so that's good for him. Whereas Runner Meat is just kind of there, which is sad news for him, but what are you really going to expect with a 5 in his position? Not much more than that, so to that end he's doing fine. But Dogtown, man. Dogtown doing very tremendous work this match. Very, very much responsible for a lot of success this team has had so far.
Right, for sure.
One notable thing, though, for Lich that might be putting a damper on that smile a little bit.
Charge on Ench, I think?
Yep, Enchantress turns it around for some reason. Assuming more people there, I think, than there really are. One thing that might be putting a damper on that smile, though, is that Medusa's lane phase was certainly not great. She's doing very poorly for that net worth right now. It's going to need a while to recuperate. It's not going to be one of those.
Necessarily. Medusa can farm very fast, even if she has
That's
a bad
true.
sort.
But then it also takes her quite a lot, like a disproportionately larger amount of money to get much done. So, while she can farm quickly, you know, it is a higher standard to what she's going for to begin with, if that makes sense.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Spirit Breaker charging the Void Spirit here. Void Spirit just going right under the tower. Knows exactly what's coming. Wants nothing to do with it. Got a lot of vision here in their own jungle. They want to take a lot of advantage of that Spirit Breaker. They're going to have to get rid of that stuff. Number one thing the guy hates to see.
Yep.
But it's something he actually does have a bit of say in getting rid of as well. He is very good at sort of buying you the space to get rid of the wards. Yeah, right now it's very much NWA's game as far as vision goes. They got a lot of good wards on the a lot of sides of the map, while Lich does not really have much to say in response. Definitely a point to improve on for talking about next week's game, especially with they are down on observers, so that means that they are getting their observers blown up, which is not ideal for them. Or that they're just being deployed rather slowly. I guess it is kind of the issue you run into when you got Warlock, is your vision's going to come up very slowly because Warlock is a doddering old man who takes forever to get anywhere.
Botland's having some fun.
Oracle going down. It's very heavily jumped here. Pretty much
Oh,
five on him. Yules here means Kid Dynamite now in a lot of danger. Spear Breaker
He's
and
not as much danger as you might think.
Spear Breaker and Medusa coming in to try and help him out here. It's going to force at least Luchs to run away. Luchs actually in bad trouble, the Fatal Bonds. Though nothing's like really Fatal Bonded right now, so he's not as bad as it looks.
Oh,
Luchs was able to regen up enough to turn
what
that
a
around.
turnaround.
Yeah.
Middle tower is under attack.
They did keep the DP up, and right now that's very important for them. But they lost Ghost to kill one support, and then lost two of their own in the turnaround.
Dire's middle
Not
tower
super
is
good.
under attack.
Not super good.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
And who'd they drop? Oh, you know, Oracle, which, that's great and all, but Oracle's one of those walking ult types. He's not a huge, it's not time to break out the... I don't know why that charge stopped. Really should have just kept going on her. Not time to break out the champagne, because he got the Oracle exactly. Shadow Blade up in the Spirit Breaker, though with all that vision that NWA has, it's a little hard to see that's going to come in much handy as far as obscuring his movements. Unfortunately for him. Certainly going to give him the speed and the first hit capability, though.
Dogtown gonna get a little bothered.
He's going to get a little more than a little bothered here as Void Spirit's coming in as
yeah.
well. Has to drop False Promise on himself here. Spear Breaker and Medusa.
They have the response again, though.
Yep, Dogtown actually kind of accepting his fate there. Almost goes down without healing himself. Spear Breaker just refusing to let Enchantress go, but Juggernaut has shown up. He's going to force a retreat.
Macropire in a very awkward spot for them.
Yep. But then the, and here's Huskar just to finish things off here. Eats the Jakiro for free. Gets Omni'd though,
Oh, boy.
and just eats it immediately.
Alright, good news.
That was definitely worth it for NWA at this juncture.
Dire's
They did lose a lot, but when you have a disadvantage to that size, taking out a VIP to the degree of Huskar here is definitely good news.
Yeah.
Did you notice, by the way, in that fight, there was a perfect purifying on the on the Void Spirit just to get rid of him?
Yes. Very
Next we
good.
can only watch
Dire's middle
feebly
tower
as Oracle gets rid of the tower. Kid Dynamite up here, looking to get something done. He's actually going for a halberd. I'll say certainly it's going to be a little hard to see halberd doing him that much good here, because you know it's not going to, I believe, not going to stop an Omni in any case. Could be wrong about that. I'm sure if I am going to be wrong about that, then there will be a snarky comment letting me know. So leave a snarky comment here. I'm pretty sure it gets rid of that the only thing that doesn't care.
Okay.
Very good Warlock Golem, and as usual, Warlock being very big on trying to get a lot done with the microing of it, but he just can't keep it
Kid
alive
Dynamite's
at all.
ulted.
Kid Dynamite with the false promise on. He's just gonna eat Death Prophet there. That's a very big kill for them. Death Prophet to this point looted pretty much any damage. It's the first death.
Has fallen. Dire's
That Oracle
tower
Huskar,
is
man,
under
you cannot argue with it.
Right. It's a very classic combo for a very good reason. Huskar gets so much HP regen from everything he does. Look at that stat, look at that number, and then consider that's, I believe, doubled under the Oracle ult?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. It used to be a Huskar Dazzle before before Oracle became, you know, more popular. Before it was added to the game, certainly.
Right. That ability to keep Huskar alive is just, it's just so good for them.
Yeah.
And even if he doesn't necessarily survive, just the fact that he gets a few more minutes in a fight, not a few more minutes, but a few more seconds in a fight is always worthwhile. So I say the Wraith King Ags is one of the most slept on items in the entire game. Like, having a few more seconds in which you can do whatever you want
radiant are scattered.
is a huge advantage that should never be looked past.
I think people are just allergic to buying Scepter on a pause one, usually.
Right.
They want to buy more, you know, damage items, you know, pause one carry type items.
And it's a bit of a shame, especially in the wake of the fact that, you know, now Roche, you can get the Ags off of Roche, you can just keep it, but Wraith King will still
Yep.
refuse to pick it up, just will not take it no matter what. I just don't get it. Spearburger charges in, gets a chase on him in response, so
Oh boy.
guys chasing him, probably not exactly seeing what they want to see here. Chanter's doing a great job delaying game, just trying to make that as long as possible. Jug gets the Omni
didn't
out,
work
but
there.
everybody's so tanky, it doesn't matter at all. Gets wiped off the face of the earth. Death Prophet has no recourse but to retreat. Didge shows up here. Maybe a bit of a mistake. No, they don't have enough to chase him, it doesn't seem like.
Huskar's a
Radiant's
problem.
bottom tower is under
Oh,
attack.
big time. We also had the Omni, I believe there. Yeah, the Omni goes down on Medusa illusions as well, which is not what you ever want to have happen to Yo's Jug. Especially lacking in AoE here. Like, he neither has Battle Fury nor a nor Maelstrom /
Maelstrom,
Mjolnir.
yeah.
She's super duper neat if anybody on the enemy lineup has illusions. Like, I don't care what you're doing with Juggernaut, if somebody on the enemy team is going to be bringing illusions to the party, you just kind of need that, or else you're going to have Omni Slashes like that, where you accomplish nothing at all. Except you murder
back
some
here.
illusions.
Is under attack.
Back to Lich doing some Roche.
Yeah, they've been hassling poor Roche a whole lot so far,
Your shrine
without the
is
NWA really being able to respond in kind at all. Huskar ends up taking the Aegis, which has always got to be a bit of a morale boost for
Yeah.
them.
So how do you kill Huskar twice when you can't kill
Right.
him once?
How do you kill Huskar twice when it's very difficult to kill him once? And he has the Oracle False Promiser as well. You certainly need to get rid of the False Promise. You know, I'm not even the Doctor of Dota, and I know what you gotta do here. You gotta knock the, you gotta use all your voice command lines. You gotta knock that Oracle out before you can do anything in a fight. He's just the secret of getting anything potentially possibly done by NWA, and they need to do that fast. 23 minutes, it doesn't sound like a lot, but Jesus, you're getting, you know,
Radiant's middle tower
last
is
time
under
Medusa
attack.
died was at the start of lane phase, and you remember when I was talking about how far down she was for that net worth? Well, being part of like a bunch of successful fights in a row and never having been in much danger and being able to parlay that right into farming means that she does need a hell of a lot of farm, a lot more than most heroes need, but oops, because of that fight presence plus the uninterrupted farming, she's got that farm, she's got that kind of money. She's coming online soon, and let's just call a spade a spade. There's no answer to that. There is absolutely no answer to that Medusa on the NWA's lineup. If they let this go on a little longer, it's going to be, without starting to establish much of a recourse to them, it's going to
Kind of baited in or go here. Oh no.
Yep. Huskar immediately
Okay.
goes down to an Omni Slash.
Good way
That's,
to start the fight, but Omni's down now.
Yep, one Omni Slash equals one Huskar Aegis. Warlock getting picked off by Death Prophet in the back of the battle there. But Kid Dynamite immediately takes his frustrations out on the... Oh no! The Death Prophet Ghost just immediately evaporate him.
Look at how much better the fight goes than the Oracle does.
Right.
Although, they still do have Medusa.
Yeah. Medusa has no...
She's dead.
She's got no mana. She is going to at least take out the Jug, but...
Ultra kill for Luchs.
Yep, ultra kill. The Death Prophet Ghosts, right now, they have absolutely no recourse for them, and it's and while X3 has been doing a good job on Spirit Breaker this game, you can definitely... Rampage? You can definitely feel the missing link in the NWA right now, or not in the NWA and Lich. They kind of have spread their tank factor out on both the Pause 3 and the Pause 4 here on near equal level. But that means that we're not really able to get on Lich any sort of real nice team tank sort of items. And Death Prophet really punishes you if you're not able to do that. Like, if you aren't able to get something good for your armor, if you aren't able to get something good for reducing what the ghosts are gonna do to you. Ghosts do interact with armor as you would expect, right? Then you're in quite a bit of trouble here. Even though SB is SB and it is kind of an unorthodox choice for him to a degree, definitely one good solution for dealing with a DP in this scenario would be Shiva's Guard. Shiva's Guard here not only would give Spirit Breaker personally armor, though it wouldn't give anybody else, but being able to slow down the Death Prophet like that, unless she popped a BKB, which she doesn't probably want to do for the Spirit Breaker in particular, would definitely be good news there. Huskar gets the BKB up. It's going to help him survive the Death Prophet suck, if nothing else. The Death Prophet suck has been getting her a lot of damage and a lot of kills. I believe actually she has the best KD in the server right now. Oh no, actually Kid Dynamite has just a little more than her on both fronts. He also is carrying one more death in. There is that. It's a bit arguable how you would sort of put that. I would say it's certainly certainly more of an impressive score to have on Death Prophet in Pause 3 than it is on Huskar and Pause 2. So that's my vote, personally. Oh, here's your favorite jungle item. It's bad news for the Warlock, though. That is a complete whiff and ice path. He does drop the Golem on here. He is not afraid to start using that thing. Unfortunately for him, it seems like the Golem doesn't ever quite come in handy this match, just because of that that passive from the Huskar is able to just completely jump on and melt
Beyond me though. Oh, what a false promise!
Yeah, perfectly timed false promise. They also able to get a lot of the damage off of Chug and right onto Oracle there. Kid Dynamite back up to near full health as in the wake of that. And the NWA just have to get the hell out of dodge.
Oh my lord.
This Enchantress passive is so annoying for them. They desperately need to finish up the Silver Edge. I would say well more important than the BKB actually, because until Void gets his Axe, he does actually have his Axe, just not targeting many people in the fight, so he's just trying to retreat.
How
really
different that could have been
to,
without the Oracle, man.
Yeah, could have been very, very bad for multiple reasons.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Got the glyph up here.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Medusa really didn't play much of a part in that fight either, which is a very concerning sign. That was very much, it's, you can see here, yeah. She did not even present actually. That was just 3 people taking on the lot of them there. I think that was just tracking like 1 kill in the Enchantress chase, so she might have had more of a presence than that, but I don't think she had much. Blast Rig coming up. And Quickening Charm. Quickening Charm can be very gross on some of these folks. And the Blast Rig as well. Huskar immediately taking up the Blast Rig just to make it tougher prospect to actually fight him. Airbreaker charging right in here, trying to help out Dogtown. Dogtown pops the Ghost Scepter, but unfortunately Juggernaut has a pretty good answer for that.
He absolutely knows who he has to go for now after that.
Right. Immediately, though, he has to bust Omni Slash to chase Oracle out of the fight. That does make things a little harder to stomach for NWA. As a result, they just kind of have to retreat. ends up nothing more than a 1-for-1, though they did break Omni Slash and Ghost to do that. They also
Oracle's such a presence in this game. He's like a dark cloud over the head of NWA.
right.
Like, you saw it there. In the last fight, Jug omnis Huskar, and Huskar gets saved last second with, 1 HP. In this fight, he just goes right after Oracle, just runs him down, and almost, almost ruins the entire fight to have to do that.
I would say it would certainly not be a questionable decision on Oracle's part to purchase himself an Aeon Disc at this point, just to stop Jug from having that option, you know? It's not like he's going to be doing that much damage anyway, right? Jug, they're hassling him in the jungle here. Just kind of scaring him away from the camp. They're not going to be scaring him very long.
He's getting charged, but I kind of doubt the charge goes through.
Right, just kind of stops halfway up. Not really very confident about the Radiant's position, because again, Radiant actually still kind of up for vision. It has equalized a lot more now, but
Radiant's bottom tower
Rager
is
coming in
under
again. The Death Prophet's Yules gets purged there, though she is able to tank out the Spirit Breaker entirely. Jug, they're in a little trouble there. It was the second Omni Slash going down there, and he's just having to run for the hills. He ain't getting nowhere. Goodbye, Jug. Very casually going down there, only losing Spirit Breaker in the process.
Again, no answer for the Oracle Huskar.
Right. Well, they're gonna try and answer it here.
Right.
Mess with his position, do all they can, but he's just too tanky for all that crap, man.
Oh yeah.
Just putting themselves up in a position to seizure. They actually do have Roche up as an option if they want to back off, do that instead. Second Yule's coming up on the Void Spirit. We've already seen what happens to Yules this game. Oh,
Yes,
Warlock
we see.
getting hammered by the Enchantress Impetus, but the response is probably bigger than she wanted to deal with.
Right. They're probably gonna siege with the Golem and then Roche afterwards.
Yep. Or they're gonna siege with no Golem.
Oh well. Siege the tower with the Golem.
Radiant's middle
Yep. No Golem necessary. Still able to get it down. Kid Dynamite picks up the Aghanim Scepter, which is just gonna make that Huskar ult an even nastier prospect, especially if your name is Juggernaut. Well, especially if your name is your Narrow, I guess. Or Manifest Destiny, depending on how you want to look at that.
Oh, sorry.
Juggernaut is getting, well, actually Kid
False
Dynamite
promise.
getting kind of hassled there. Good false promise. Just stops that immediately, though. Once again, they just have
That's
nothing to
it.
do. They call the
Gotham's done.
GGs. Gotham is out of here. And perhaps out of the tournament overall? At least out of the runnings for the bracket. Alright, GG bros.
Yeah.
What a matchup. Well, what have we learned here? One very important thing. Don't let Oracle and Huskar happen.
Yeah.
I will actually say I
Join
do
Stewart's
think
party.
yeah, I will say I do think the combination of Tiny with the Huskar in a game earlier actually did do them a little bit more favors, but in lieu of that, in light of that, the Oracle here had such a huge role on this battle. And the best part is, even though Oracle, yeah, it is the same stand-in, even though Oracle goes really well with Medusa, you really didn't see much interaction between the two this game. There was just so much focus on and delivering by the Oracle with the Medusa combo. It was just so hard for them to do anything with. One thing I will say, I do feel like the Spirit Breaker here was just too much of the good stuff. While he was able to personally deal with Enchantress Soul to a point, he kind of needed Silver Edge to go in more on that, and he just never quite had the space for that. And besides that, most of his job was just trying to bait a Fence in, which I feel like there's definitely better options for that than Old SB.
Yeah.
So definitely, I think, a bit of a weak point on the draft there. Didn't turn out too well. Unfortunately, Warlock did not. Warlock's big, run over meat on Warlock. His big thing is the Golem Micro, right? Yeah, which is unique, I think, for Warlocks in the entire tournament. Most Warlocks are all about trying to get really cool Fatal Bonds, trying to get the really cool stun off with the Golem, but Warlock is the run over meat as Warlock is really all about the Golem micro, which is kind of a rare skill these days, right? And I think it's good for him. But this game, it seemed like every time he dropped the Golem, it just kind of either died in 2 seconds flat, or the best target it had to go after was Enchantress, which it could do nothing to. Which is a bit of a shame. Still, despite all that, the Huskar Oracle combo here really just cleaned house all day, every day. You know, the poor supports on Radiant could do nothing about it. Even the mid, mid is 0-6 and 4. They certainly did not have a great showing on Void Spirit there, and I think a lot of that is just he just kind of got it put on him. To be honest with you, I don't think Didge is much of a Void Spirit player necessarily. He does have rank 6 on the hero, that old Dota buff rank 6. So maybe he is a bit more comfortable than it looks on the outset. I mean, it's not a great matchup for him anyway, but yeah. You know, it is kind of hard to give a very good direct answer to what we saw there. You know, most of the great Huskar counters that are out there in the game don't really mean much with the Oracle in the lineup. You know, you gotta watch out for Abaddon, because Abaddon can silence you when you jump and make the false promise mean nothing anyway, but that's like the best you got. That's the best you got. I don't know. Very hard situation for NWA here, and well, I guess that's it for now. So, Saturday night, 7 p.m. I think it's 6 for me. I think.
Sometime on Saturday.
Sometime Saturday night, you'll definitely know if you check the LD2L Discord server. You're going to have pre-show panel. We're gonna have Angry Dogs. Everybody's gonna be there. It's going to be a great time. Randy's going to be there. You maybe even see Ocelot. He's pretty rare to come by these days, as you no doubt aware. Going to have a lot of fun. Going to have a grand old time. If you or somebody you know wants to learn Dota 2, casual, more competitive level, ld2l.gg. Too late to sign up. Could be a stand-in, though. It's another game with a stand-in in it. And, yeah, we'll see you next time.